I'm not ready. Hey, what's up, man?
What's happening, buddy?
Oh well, I'm in my luxury abode, and you
Yeah,
are living large out in the Springs with one of our good friends, uh,
I
Marlar
am.
Equipment.
Yeah, I am on a
Mhm.
remote location in Hot
Our
Springs
live
at,
remote
live
location,
at the Cloud
undisclosed
Nine
location.
RV. Yeah,
That way, people won't bust your door down trying to get autographs. We understand.
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Well, hey, we are live. Thank you for being here. We are going to be talking about being thankful. Here we go. Thank you for joining us on the Overland Podcast, brought to you by Professor Bats and Friends. We love to talk about it all: the gear we like to use, the places we like to go, and the things we like to do. Sometimes we'll have guests, sometimes it'll be just us. You never know what you might get. But you always have Bats Off-Road and the Professor. Thank you for joining us. No pros, just bros on this show. Here we go. Here we go. Come on. Man, I tell you, this has been a great start of the week. First of all,
Yeah,
I had a 3-day weekend.
right,
And I got to go deer hunting a little bit down in South Arkansas, and came back with 2 full coolers of meat.
right.
Now it's nothing to really brag about, but I mean I'm not posting like monsters or anything like that. But I guarantee you, all the people that's posting monsters, mine's gonna eat just as good as theirs is.
Yeah. Well, at least you caught one.
And I also got some great news for those who are going camping with us. We're gonna eat good because I'm gonna bring somebody.
Right on.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Gia and I, this was Gia's first time to ever go deer hunting. She'd never been deer hunting before. And we got to sit in a gigantic stand. So we got to sit there together. She spotted the deer. I shot the deer, forgot to tell her that I was about to shoot and scared her half to death. So it about blew one of her eardrums out, but that was okay. She got over it. Can't hear a
Yeah.
thing I say anymore, which is good.
Huh?
Um,
What'd
but
you
yeah,
say?
what, huh? Yeah. But anyway, she got to see everything from start to finish. She got to see, where I go, what I do, shooting the deer, going and finding it. We had to track it for a little bit. Um, and then we found it. She got to actually trail the blood and got to help me drag it out, got to help me skin it.
Oh boy.
So she is, a science teacher. She's done a lot of uh, dealing with like cat dissection and all this other stuff. So while I was skinning the deer, she's like, "Oh, you about to cut that glutamus maximus thing or something like that?" And I didn't know what in the world she was talking about, spattling off all these scientific terms. It was fun. It was fun. We had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and
I am. I'm trying something new here. This is the first time from my phone, and
yeah.
I wanted to ask everybody to, let us know in the comments what they think, like the sound and all that kind of stuff. See if they,
Your sound is good. I can hear
yeah,
you
sound.
coming in good. Uh, and I think it's going to be fine as long as your internet don't poot out right there in the Taj
Well,
Mahal. Won't let you fly.
yeah, I've got I've got my Wi-Fi turned off, and it's just
Yeah,
off the 5G.
you should
So
be fine. Should be
so
fine.
far, so far it's pretty good.
Well, we got quite a few people on here that have joined us. The Gen Xers. Good evening, gents. Finally, don't have to work when you're live. Hey, glad to have you. It's been a long time since we talked with the Gen Xers. And man, miss them. I hope they're doing well. Chris is here. What's up?
Hey,
Thank you
Chris.
for being here, Chris. Uh, Twin Lakes Overlanding.
There's
Hey guys. Hey
there,
Chris.
there's Chris.
One of our sponsors of the show, Marlar Equipment, coming in hot right there with us. Chad Clifton says no hose, just bros. This time,
This time.
maybe not next time.
That's right.
Yeah, Chris says I got me some backstrap. There's my lovely wife. Hey babe. Hey Tony.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, and there's your lovely wife who just
Oh,
got
hey, hon.
in with a hey.
Hey, babe.
How do you, Miss Bats Off-Road? Hope you're doing well. Home alone with the kid, taking
Yeah.
care of the kid.
Haven't seen you in a couple of days, but I'll call you after the podcast.
Jeff Kubiak is on here all the way from Tulsa, Oklahoma, with
Hey, Jeff.
Bad Ack Adventure Co. I'm working on getting some stuff. Man, I got tangled up in all kinds of stuff down here. I'm working on moving. Jeff has come up with this swing out for the privacy tent.
Yeah.
And I'm working on transitioning that over from the trailer to the FJ.
Okay.
To get some good pictures of that, because it's going to be amazing to have that thing everywhere I go. So
Jeff comes up with some really cool ideas.
Redbeard Sasquatch.
Yep.
Man.
Hey.
Yeah. So I'm real excited about that. Very thankful that Jeff came up with that. Jeff and I walked around in More Expo and came up with that idea. And Jeff is one of these guys, you give him an idea, he makes it come to life. He does all this stuff with a computer, and next thing you know, bam, he's like, oh, hey, I got that.
Yeah.
I got that for you. So, man, I'm excited about that. But anyway, so work today was not that bad, not that big of a deal. You actually got some hands-on work today. You got to work outside, and one of the most beautiful days of the year. I was really jealous of that.
Yeah, it was a really nice day to be outside. We started off working on a big John Deere tractor out in the pasture with a bunch of cows. Had to keep them from messing with us. Because they're always nosy.
Well, as many animals as Chris has, I'm guessing that he's used to that. The animals being where he's at.
I'm sure, yeah.
Playing around with the goats and stuff. But anyway, Amy is always posting pictures of something that's being born, or something that she picked up on the side of the road, or something that just wandered onto their little thing there. So that's always pretty fun to see what she posts. Now they have this coming Saturday a meet and greet down in Little Rock, and they're also doing a tune. So if you have a Toyota, isn't that this Saturday?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, this Saturday. Appreciate the in the background. This Saturday, Lady Owned Toyotas is teaming up with the guy who does the tunes on the Toyotas, and I've been dying to get that on my FJ, but I'm not going to be able to do it this week. It seems like I always got something when they do that, and I hate that. It's not that I'm trying to avoid it. I want to be down there, and I want to do that. In fact, I'd love, if my wife is listening, that would be a great Christmas present to me. So if you're listening, that's what I want. We just have to hook up with the guy. But if you're going to be in the Little Rock area, want to do a tune on your, and I've heard that it's like miracles that he does on all this stuff. So if you've put, like I have, I've changed up everything. My intake, my exhaust is all completely different, and I need a tune bad. So, and I know from having a motorcycle that makes all the difference in the world, and I really need to get down there and do that.
Chris is beside me shaking his head. Yes, it does make a world of difference. Yep.
Huge difference. Need to do
and it's Toys for Tots drive too. So
that's right. Bring an unwrapped toy.
Yeah.
$50 off if you bring a toy for Toys for Tots. That's awesome.
Right on.
Give to the children and save a little bit on your own rig. It don't get any better than that.
That's right. It's a win-win-win.
It is a win. Well, my wife and I are going on an adventure of a different kind. This Saturday, we are backpacking Eagle Rock Loop, which is the longest hiking loop in Arkansas. It's 27 miles, and we're going to leave on Saturday and be back on Monday. And so we're going to take 3 days, do about 9 miles a day, something like that, and backpack. We've got everything strode out everywhere in the living room. And we're getting everything ready, making sure we got everything. And so pretty excited about that. So we're going to go on an adventure of a little different kind.
I really admire you guys for doing that. That's I don't know. It's not my thing.
Well, that's one of the things that I wanted to lead off with. We're probably not going to have a show next week. It's a holiday week. For most everybody, kids are out of school all week, and I want you to spend time with your family. But this week is the week before Thanksgiving, And a lot of times we overlook, um, you know, Thanksgiving and look to Black Friday. We've already had a show about the things that we could save money on, the good sales that are going on. And don't get me wrong, I love Black Friday sales. Oh my gosh, you can
Mm-hmm.
save some good money,
Right.
good hard earned money on Black Friday sales. But sometimes we overlook Thanksgiving and the reason for it. That we need to be thankful for what we have. And I wanted to lead off with that because we've got this big backpacking trip coming up this weekend. And if you know G and I, we've done a lot of hikes. We've hiked almost every hike in Arkansas. It's just one of the things that we love to do. Um, and I'm so thankful that I have a supportive wife that loves what I like to do. That we kind of have the same interests, we kind of have the same dreams, same goals, and that's cool. And you're kind of in the same boat with yours as well.
Yep. That's right.
Rick says thankful for our overland family. That's on my list as well. Man, family.
For sure.
It's really hard not to be thankful for family. I've got two amazing kids. Parents that are very loving, and a wife that I can replace with. If I picked one out of a million, I wouldn't get one as good as her. So the family is everything. And I know you've got
Yep.
a young daughter and a wife. You've been married a long time, so I know family's a huge
Yeah.
deal for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what I would do without Arla. We've been together 31 years now. So,
Mm, that's a
um,
long time.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So,
Y'all know each other pretty well.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
We've been together, we've been together like over half of our lives,
yeah,
you know, like,
that's cool.
anyway.
That's cool. Well,
So,
family's a big deal. Our overlanding community, so thankful for that. Most of the friends that I have in this life, I've met either on a trail or at an event. And
yeah.
I met you at Rendezvous several years ago,
Yeah.
and it's been pretty much history ever since. I mean, I look back. I've done a. I know that I'm gonna take a lot of pictures and videos on my phone this next week with all the stuff that we have planned. So I've been trying to get all the pictures uploaded to my Google Drive and all that, and trying to get some pictures deleted off my phone to make some room. And man, I tell you, I look on there, and three-fourths of the pictures on my phone are with you. And so that I'm thankful. I'm thankful for all the times that we've been out together, and the friendship that we've had, and all the times that I've called you up and say, hey man, I got some racket in my front end. I need some help. And you're like, bring it up, bring it up. And I sit there and hand you tools while you fix my car. So I'm very thankful for that. The friendship we have, and the places we've been. Lord, we've been a lot of places
I know it.
together in a
I know.
short amount of time.
Right.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's been fun.
Colorado, Wyoming, Kansas,
West Virginia,
West Virginia.
yeah,
I mean,
and lots in Arkansas.
Texas, lots of Arkansas.
Yeah, Big Bend. We've been
Yeah.
to Big Bend.
Yeah. Oklahoma.
Well,
So
if
yeah,
you're here,
I agree, buddy. You're you know, right there at the top with my wife and daughter and everybody. Just really thankful for um, everything that we've gone and done and learned, and
yeah,
uh,
I
I've
look
learned so
back
much.
on where I was a couple years ago and where I am now, and man, it's amazing how fast things can change and how your life changes, and so much for the better.
Yeah.
And I look back on where I was 10, 15 years ago, and I think I'm living my best life right now compared to where I was several years ago. So very thankful for that. Very
Yeah.
thankful for that. Twin Lakes says next weekend is also Friendsgiving with Jacob Kane and a few others, so that's going to be cool. Glad y'all are able to go out. Um, I am, on top of the overlanding community, I'm thankful for the cool vehicles that we have. You know, man, I never knew when I bought my FJ Cruiser what I was getting into.
That's
You
right.
know, I was almost in the same position as you. I had a Ford F-250 that I loved, and
You did?
I did. I had
I
a
did
Ford
not know that.
F-250, 3/4 ton. I had put a lift on that thing, big gigantic motor tires. I had outfitted it with weather guard
Had you
boxes.
told me this before?
Probably not. Probably not.
I did
Uh,
not realize that. Wow.
I loved that truck, and when I when I got out of mowing grass, I decided I don't need this big truck. So I drove down to Little Rock, went to change traded in. I wanted me a Toyota. I was going to get a Tacoma. We get down there and I saw the Tacoma and I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. So I went looking out on the car lot and saw an FJ and I was like, I remember when those first came out and I always wanted one. Never thought I could afford one. And so I looked at it and ended up buying it. And I got that thing home and never knew the kind of cult following it had. Never knew the kind of accessories that you could put on it. And Lord have mercy, about half my salary for the past 7 years has went into that car. And I know I've put a lot of money in it, but it has been second to none. And I know that you kind of went through the same thing with your Gladiator.
Yeah, yeah. I am luckily I've got the Gladiator about where I want it, so I can
Hmm.
stop putting money into it.
Me
So
too. Me too. I'm glad. I'm glad that I don't have to save up for a bumper here or this or that there. I'm glad I've got it done.
yeah,
You know,
but now
95%, 95%.
but now you've got something else to start on.
Well, I do, and that's another thing. My lovely bride, kind of having the same dreams and goals. We have purchased a Subaru Forester Wilderness, and I am in love with this car. I love this car, and I cannot wait to see. And here's how amazing a wife I have. I said, what do you want? We were driving somewhere. I said, what do you want to do this car? Tell me what you want to do, because we got a trip plan, big trips planned in this car. And I said, what do you want to do? She said, well, two things. We're going to have a fridge and we're going to have a rooftop tent. I was like, perfect, perfect. So
So, guys, how do you know when you have a keeper?
yeah, yeah.
Which you want a rooftop tent and a fridge for y'all's vehicle? Yeah.
Redbeard Sasquatch. I'm so thankful for the Drummond Island overlanding trip. Where's Drummond Island? I've never heard of it.
Drummond Island.
Had a wonderful time with friends. Most importantly, the Jeep made it back in one piece. Hey, you know, my FJ is kind of getting to that point when I can go on a trip and make it home. Hey, that's a win. That's
Yeah.
a win. I got to figure out where Drummond Island is.
Yeah. Redbeard, let us know where that's at.
Jeff says, "Did you buy a mini truck?" Man, Jeff's trying to get me to buy a mini truck so he can put one of his shells of one of his trailers on the back of it and make like a
Yeah.
mini earth roamer.
Yeah.
I think that'd be so cool. I think Chris has one. We should do
Yeah.
that.
Chris does have one.
I got one. Yeah.
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 He does have
No.
one.
Yep. I just got a Subaru, and I'm probably going to pull the trailer with Subaru. Um, but anyway, it's okay. He says it's northeast of Michigan, Lake Huron.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
That's close.
okay. Well, I went to Michigan this summer, and my wife, her family has a house in Michigan, so I will ask her about that. She may be on here listening. So, yeah, mini trucks for everyone. I would love to have a mini truck. I'd love
Right?
to have a mini because mini trucks can go down the same trails in Arkansas that side by sides can. Did you know that?
Really?
They're less than 50 inches.
So, huh.
If I had a mini truck, I'd be thankful. I'm just telling you for my mini truck. But yeah, I'm excited about the Subaru. I'm excited about what we're going to do with it, where we're going to go in it. This thing I've never had a new car, never bought a new car. This is the only new car I've ever had. This thing has less than 1,000 miles on it, and we've owned it for a month. Uh, it's it is It has so many electronic features on it. I'm still trying to figure them out. I went out there the other day and watched a YouTube video on how to program my garage door remote onto the rear view mirror, and when it
Yeah.
worked, it just blew my mind. Just just blew my mind. It
Yeah.
has Apple CarPlay. I've never had Apple CarPlay. This is so cool. I can use Gaia Maps on my car
Just right straight on the screen.
right straight on the screen. Isn't that crazy?
Right on.
I am so excited.
I was cracking Kara up because I was telling her about the story you told me when y'all picked up the Subaru and you were sitting there watching the headlights on it whenever they turned the key on
Yeah,
and the headlights turned and then
yeah,
centered.
they move.
They moved. And she's like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. You turn it on and they go this way, that way, and then back to the center. And
They
I'm like,
recalibrate every time.
what just happened? I don't know what just happened. So I
It's a
get in it,
transformer.
and the very first time we drive this car at night, it's at night, and so we're going through West Little Rock, and it's just up and down and back and forth and back and forth. The headlights move the direction you turn the steering wheel. So if it and it can detect where it's going up, so the headlights move up, they move left, they move right. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. It is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I love it. Absolutely love it. But anyway, I'm thankful for that car. I
Yeah.
am so excited about that car. So, and they make all kinds of cool stuff for them already. You know, it's already got a lift. It's already got off-road tires. It's got lockers, 4 low, 4 high lockers. It is friggin' sweet.
See,
Michael
and
Hayden, Michael Hayden, all the way from Alaska. Thanks for being
yeah,
on here, buddy.
I bet he's thankful
Michael is
for
actually
snow.
going to come on the show. Michael's going to come on the show. We got to figure out a way to get Michael on here because the time difference is such a big time difference that he's still at work actually when we come on at 7. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah. Rick says add a snorkel to the list with the fridge and the rooftop tent. Michael says I'm at work now. It's the middle of the night, Mike. You need to go home. Go see your lady friend. It's middle of the night. It's darker. It's darker than
It's darker than dark here now.
It's darker than dark, man. I put out some squirrel traps. 420 there. I put out some squirrel traps a while ago before the show started, and I was having to use a headlamp. I mean, it was dark,
Yeah.
friggin' dark. You got 17 or 20 vehicles. Who you talking to, Chris? About 17 or 20 vehicles? Talking to yourself?
Chad, he's talking to Chad Clifton, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Chad's got a rig or two.
Yeah, Chad's got a few rigs. But the list when I sat down to think about the list of things I need to be thankful for, I mean, what is there not to be thankful for? I mean, you could be thankful for air conditioners. If you live in Arkansas and you spend a summer in Arkansas and you're not able to go to a higher elevation, air conditioners, oh my dear Lord, I am thankful.
Yeah.
Even the zero breeze this summer a few times. Goodness gracious. It's just making a whole level of comfort. Even heaters.
Thankful. Yep. I know. There's so much. I mean, this year's kind of been challenging, but I'm thankful for friends that my buddy Chris over here that is letting me come down and work with him, and he's got the patience to teach somebody like me, new stuff. So thankful for that.
Well, he works with his son, so he has to have patience. He has to have patience. He learned to have patience. Anytime you work with your kids, you learn patience.
Yeah.
But you're a good hand. You're a good hand turning wrenches and doing stuff like that. So he's got a good hand with you, and I'm glad y'all are together.
I appreciate that, and I try, but it is a little bit different what Chris does than just working on a Jeep or a FJ.
Well, the things that he usually posts that he's working on is like things out of Star Wars.
Yeah.
When you see the giant things that have the big feet coming down and they're driving around underneath them, that's what Chris works on. Those gigantic toys. Yeah.
Yeah. The tools weigh more than. I mean, Good grief! And he's up
Yeah,
here holding them with one hand.
yeah. Well, Chris is a
I'm
beast.
over here. I'm over here hugging the thing so that it don't break my wrist.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, well, if you're out there in radio land and you're listening to us, give us something. Give us something that you're thankful for. That's kind of what I want the show to be about. I want this to be a time where we all get to share a little bit about what we're thankful for. We know we're thankful for family. We're thankful for friends. Those are kind of givens. Places you've been, things that you actually get to do and see. I'm thankful that I've actually got to visit 13 countries. That's been a huge thing. Now Michael gets what I'm throwing down. Good zippers. Um, I've been out times where the zippers have frozen and you can't get them back and they break. Yeah. Amy's thankful for her Lady Owned Toyotas group here in Arkansas. Some great people there. Chris says the good Lord, family, friends, knowledge, do what I do. Smart. Everybody has a gift at something. You have to
yeah,
figure out what your gift is. My wife says comfortable shoes, warm clothes, waterproof coats.
dude.
Um,
We
this
talk.
weekend,
We even went to Atwoods today. Chris is trying to help me find some comfortable boots.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, he's probably telling you that t-shirts and
t-shirts and
sports shorts, and tennis shoes ain't gonna cut it for what y'all are doing.
no, no. And I wore tennis shoes as long as I could today. But whenever you go, some places require more than Adidas for
Yeah,
you to go
that's
in and
true.
work. So
Well,
yeah,
my wife hit it on the head there. I've been walking around in shoes that have hurt my feet, and you got to get you some shoes. We're going to walk 27 miles in 3 days, and that's going to be the number one thing. Whatever's
yeah,
on our feet,
right,
the rest of it we can deal with.
right.
Galen says all my overlanding family and that the Jeep is finally running good. Hey man, I'm excited that you got to go home from Rendezvous and you posted, I made it home and the Jeep's still running. You don't have to tear everything apart.
Yeah, speaking of people who've had challenges this year, I know Galen has had a challenge, a pretty sizable challenge getting his Jeep squared away this year.
Yeah,
So
no kidding. He said that
yeah,
thing apart, doing all kinds of stuff to it. Chad says, thanks for my wife, kiddos. Tony HR says you need safety toes.
I'm not wearing safety toes, HR. I
You're
promise
not
you,
wearing
I'm not
safety toes.
wearing safety toes. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah. Chad says you need to try the Brunt boots. Brunt
Worth it
boots.
for the money.
Yeah.
There was somebody there that at Atwoods today that was telling us about Brunts.
Hmm. I've never had those.
Actually, I thought he said blunt for a second, but I
Yeah, we don't
realized
do
that
that.
it's
We
not.
don't do
Yeah,
that.
don't do that.
Well, just
So
get you some Hey Dudes. You'll be just fine.
some hey dudes,
Uh,
I'm sure that'd be fine.
yeah, Hey Dudes will be just fine. I tell you another thing that I'm thankful for, especially living here in Arkansas, and a lot of people don't get this, and they don't have this, but public land. Um, I am so thankful that we live in a state where we've got public land. People down in Texas, Kansas, even Oklahoma, they struggle with having a place and do. And a lot of them come to Arkansas because it's the closest. And we
Right.
have an abundance of places to go and camp and stuff. And I'm so thankful for that.
Yeah. I am thankful for overland podcasters that want to get together and have a camp out.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
That's going to be
Uh,
so much fun.
that's going to be so much fun. For those of you who are listening, save that date. Second weekend in December, we're getting
Yes.
with Budget Overland and we're going to have a camp out. Um, we're going to give out the coordinates on that and probably the place live. We're not going to
Yeah.
post it anywhere on our socials because
Yeah.
we want listeners to come to this thing. And
That's right.
there's quite a few people already said that they're coming.
Yes.
This is going to be a big deal. It's probably going to be in north central Arkansas, and it's going to be a big deal because we've already had quite a few people that said they're coming. So second weekend in December, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. There'll probably be people there before then. So if you have a
Yeah.
couple more days, you can come.
Yeah.
My wife says interesting places to visit with wonderful people. My wife has been to a lot of countries, and she's got some great stories. Um, funny stories, stories that'll put you on the edge of your seat. She's got some good ones.
I bet
Um,
I bet Gia is thankful for books on her phone so that she can read in the deer stand.
she read a lot in the deer stand.
Yeah.
She really did.
I saw that picture and I
Yeah,
noticed on her phone she had her book up.
she had her book on her phone and she would look down at it for a couple minutes and then look up and watch for deer. And she actually spotted the deer that I shot. So I'm thankful that she was actually paying attention as well,
Right on.
because it was really hard for me to cover 360 degrees views and stuff. So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Rick says, thankful living in the middle of nowhere. That must be
Yes,
cool.
sir. Yep.
I've never done that, so I wouldn't know what that's like. So that's pretty cool. My wife says all the people that I've met through Joey Overlanders, y'all are so wonderful. And she has mentioned that so many times about, she said, you have the coolest friends. And she says, now we have the coolest friends.
That's right.
And so, I'm really thankful that everybody's taken so well to her. And she has taken so well to everybody, which I knew she would because she loves people
No, because she's just awesome.
a whole lot more than I do. Amy says, thankful for the mountains. Me too, because it gives
Yes.
us a place to go when it's so
Yeah.
hot.
Yes.
And I was looking back through, speaking of taking some pictures off my phone, I was looking back through the pictures of our trip last summer when we started out. You didn't catch us until we got to Denver, but when me and Porker started out in New Mexico, and we were just making our way all the way up to Denver to meet you, and then we went on up to Wyoming. Any, there's not any bad pictures. They're all good.
Yeah.
And so trying to filter through those, um, to see which ones I wanted to keep or which ones I wanted to post or something like that. There's no bad ones. There was every one of them was good. When you've got mountains everywhere, when you're surrounded by mountains, or that last place that we camped in Wyoming where it was so cold and it rained a
Yeah.
lot, but we were right beside a river that was half frozen. It was so beautiful,
Yeah.
so stinking beautiful everywhere
Yeah.
you look.
I
Wow.
bet that spot would have been amazing about 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later, yeah.
I bet that would have just been. I mean, it was a great spot anyway. But
I would leave today and go back to that same spot. I'd drive
yeah.
back to that same exact spot. Now I'd get gas before we spent that $7 a gallon in that little town right there before.
Yeah.
And, anyway,
Yeah. Chris was telling me how he finally talked Amy into going to Oregon next year. And I was telling him that he ought to go through northeastern Colorado and
hmm
take a path through the Medicine Bow National Forest, and he
yeah,
could stop there on the way and go to the Grand Tetons and Yellowstone and all
hmm
that on the way.
I'll tell you what, I was very impressed with the route that we took. And all we had was some coordinates that Joe and Misty from the day we make had given us, and we were trying to make our way to the campsite, and we never made it there because everything that we saw on the way was so beautiful.
Yeah,
And I just set that Garmin Overlander to a 3 out of the 4, because you can set a range on how much back roads you want to take, and it took us through the most beautiful. We saw elk like crazy. So many campsites, farms, ranches. Followed the river, the Colorado River.
yeah.
It was just, oh my gosh, it was
I
so.
think we were like one turn away from being on the road that that campsite was that we got from Joe and Misty. I think we
Mhm.
were almost there, but I
We
mean,
were. We were
when we
about
got to
20
that
miles
spot,
there. Yeah.
yeah, when we got to that spot, it was like, no, there's no need
Mm.
to go any further.
It was so beautiful, so
Yeah,
beautiful, and I was so thankful. We were so far out of anywhere that we ended up in Wyoming and never had a sign. There was not a sign on the road where we were. So we ended up in Wyoming, didn't even know it.
yeah,
So that was cool.
yeah.
Benji's on here. Hey, Benji, thank you for joining us. Budget Overland Grand Poobah is here, and he's going to be one of the the host of the camp out. Galen says
Yep.
can't wait till the camp out.
Yep.
Redbeard came on here again and said, I'm so thankful my son comes along with me on my overlanding adventures. He had a blast last summer.
Right on.
That's
Yep.
cool when you take your kids. Teach them
Yeah.
young. Teach them young.
Yep. Yeah, I enjoy seeing my friends with their kids out. You know, my daughter will be 14 in a couple of days, and she's not as into camping these days.
Mm-hmm.
She's more into teenage social life, which that's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah.
But I
remember
really
those days.
enjoy. Yeah, I love that. So
Richard says he won't be able to make it. Well, that's okay, but he'll be holding his new granddaughter in Texas, so that's definitely something to be thankful for. That's really cool.
that's right.
Second week in December. That is correct. We're not
That's
announcing
great.
the place yet, Chad. So we're gonna do that a little bit later. Amanda says definitely thankful to finally get my Jeep back on the trails again after being broke most of the year. Well, it's a Jeep.
Yeah.
Get used to it.
No, you don't have to. No. Even though I've got something waiting on me when I get home to fix on
Yeah,
Harley's Jeep,
I broke a Jeep.
and I had to do the brake pads on Sunday night before I left.
Yeah,
So yeah,
always something to do, brother. Always something to do. And I
yeah,
say that, and I've been working on my Toyota nonstop for the past 2 months,
yeah.
and still have another one of the shafts on the front to replace. So that's gonna be fun. You're welcome.
Yeah, we know how to do that. It's fine.
Yeah. Of course, Overland family, they are the best. You're right. You're right. Amy says, when are we leaving? We are going to Washington too. Wow. Getting way up there. Way up there. Chris says Yoder's better. Well, yeah, that's the big. Rick says I'm building 2 rigs so that my daughter, son-in-law, and grandson won't have an excuse not to go with us. That's awesome. That's awesome when your family can go with you. Yeah, that's a 30-minute fix for you, Chris. Not for me. Not for me at all. Let's see. I mentioned the public land. I'm thankful, man. We got so many places to go in Arkansas, and I'm so thankful for that. It's just amazing here. The weather cooperates most of the time, except in the dead of winter and the dead of summer. Most of the time, it's good, and you can tell by the amount of people who are in the woods. And I hope everybody
Yeah.
had a safe weekend last weekend, with it being deer season. A lot of the overlanders got out and camped as well. I saw a little bit of a debate on Natural State Overland about somebody posted about deer hunting weekend and for the overlanders to stay home, and then that sparked the debate. But it's public. They call it public for a reason. We can share. And
Yeah.
so I'm a hunter, and I don't overland during gun deer season just because I'm hunting. But if I wasn't hunting, respectfully camp because that's what we do.
You
But
know what? I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that debate, because that was something that sort of sparked a question in my mind, because there's the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. The general hunting rule says you can't hunt. You can't point, aim, shoot, hunt, or otherwise operate a gun from or within 100 feet of the center of a road,
mm-hmm.
of a maintained road.
Where most
And
campsites are.
Yeah, and so the more I thought about that, I wondered, what do they consider a maintained road? Does it stop at a county road?
Forest roads are not maintained, so it's they're not maintained.
They are considered a federally maintained road. So anything on the MVUM that's open to, and I called the Forest Service to make sure.
Oh,
But
wow.
I called, yeah, and she said, yeah, anything that's, even if it's not something that they go down and they trim trees and keep it wide open,
Mm-hmm.
it's still maintained in their map and data system. So they consider it a federally maintained road. So anything that's
That's
listed
good
on
to
the,
know.
on the MVUM that's open to motorized vehicles, not hiking trails,
Mm-hmm.
but motorized vehicles. You are not allowed to hunt within 100 feet.
Wow, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good info. You heard it here.
Anyway, you heard it here.
Um, Another thing that I'm thankful for is, a good job. A good job to pay for all the toys that I buy and the places that I want to go put gas in the car. It takes it all. So I'm very thankful for that. That I've been provided that. Smart people I can learn from.
Yeah.
Very thankful for. You're dealing with it this week. Hanging out with Chris.
Yeah.
Learning from him. And every time that you and I fix something on my car, I learn something new all the time. And so I'm so very thankful for, because there's
Well,
so many good people out there.
I know. And every time you and I go camping, I learn something from you.
Yeah. Well, we all have our
Just about
gifts.
everything. Yeah.
We all have our gifts. I was the one that taught you to put ranch dressing on your baked potato. So you just never know. You just never know what you're gonna learn. You learn about ramps. Yeah.
Chris made ranch mashed potatoes tonight
Yeah.
with our
Man,
burgers.
man, oh
Yeah.
man. Um, you know,
Yeah.
uh, there's so many people out there on
Sweet
Natural
baby
State
Ray.
Overland, on all these overland groups that you could post a question and everybody. Now, don't post the question. I hate when people say, I want to get a rooftop tent. What's the best rooftop tent? Well, everybody's going to tell you the one they got. Okay, so if you want to learn how to do something, post a question, and people are more than willing to help. So,
Yeah,
uh,
that's right.
uh, yeah, some people need to know you can't hunt out of your truck either. That's exactly right. My gift is being special, Chad says, and Galen says Chris is amazing chef, and that is correct. Yeah, Richard and Tony going to hang out and gain weight hanging out with Chris. Well, I think you're going to work it off during the day, so you're
No,
probably
I'm
going to
pretty
burn a
sure
lot
I'm not gonna have to worry about gaining weight down here.
of fat.
I need all of the calories I can get.
Yeah. Another thing I'm thankful for when I was making my list, when I thought about it, the whole reason that I started this podcast was therapy for myself. It gave me an avenue whereby I could share my thoughts, I'm a thinking guy. I just sit around and think all the time, and it gave me an avenue whereby I can just share what's going on in my mind. Now, whether people learn anything from it or not, I can't help that. Some of it's
Right.
good, some of it's not, but it just gives me an avenue whereby I can just have a little bit of therapy, and
Right.
and so I'm very thankful that we're here. Very thankful that people actually listen to us and get something out of it. I'm very thankful for our sponsors, the ones who make sure uh, or think this is actually worth investing in. We've got Chris with Marler Equipment, who's there, huge supporter of us. We love him, and he cooks for us every time we go. Takes good care of us. Good-hearted guy. Don't get any better. Um,
That's right.
Okie Overland, huge supporter of us. Love those guys. If you need anything whatsoever, that is the store to go to. Brick and mortar store out of uh, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Look them up, okie-overland.com. We picked up a new one last week, Logic Overland. It's the best coffee I've ever had.
Canyon
Hands down.
Craig,
Love
by
it.
far. Yes.
Absolutely love it. And we've got other ones that have really come on with us and said, "Hey, we support y'all," and they've done a great job of supporting us. So I wish I could mention them all, but for time's sake, that's pretty much it. Any more you want to mention?
I mean, there's so much. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I just, I don't know. I mean, friends and
Jimmy
family.
says,
You know.
"What's up, guys? Sorry late to the party. We should all be thankful for family that supports our buying
Yeah.
more gear than we really need." And on top of that, I'm gonna build on that. I'm thankful for this whole whoever came up with this brand or title or whatever overlanding is that made it so popular. And I want to thank everybody that got into it because of its popularity. We have some of the coolest gear that has ever been known in the history of camping. Rooftop tents, um, fridges that you can put in there. So many different um, avenues by where you can put a kitchen in your vehicle, or water systems, or drawers, or awnings, or none of this was around
I
10,
know.
15 years ago. We didn't have all this. And that's why people called it car camping, because you slept in the back seat and you didn't have all the luxuries that we had now. And a lot of people don't even know it. When I talk to the people at my school, and they say, "You're going camping?" I said, "Yeah." "Well, it's cold." I'm like, "You don't understand. I've got everything I need, every comfort that I have at home, I have in my vehicle."
Right.
"Oh, really?" "Yeah, yeah. I've got a toilet. I've got a shower. I've got shade. I've got a bed to sleep in that's super comfortable. I've got
Heat.
everything I need. Heat,
Yeah.
air,
Yeah.
everything. Running water." And they're like, "What?" You just don't understand. We've got such cool gear because of the popularity. It started out in Australia, South Africa. They brought it here, and because it's here, we have some of the coolest things that money can buy. And
Yep.
I'm so thankful for that, because we're not living in the dark ages anymore. If you want it, you can get it.
Yeah.
Or just tell Jeff at Bad Act Adventure Co. and he'll make it. Um, and whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
I'm just sitting here. I think back to something you said a minute ago. The opportunity to have visited 13 countries.
Hmm.
I'm like, wow. I've never been out of the United States, not out of the lower 48.
My wife and I have a life goal, to visit every continent on the planet. I think she only lacks three. I think I still have four, because I've been to several multiple times. If you count, um, I don't know if I can say that. I think we were talking the other night. I've been to the Philippines three times and to Japan once, and so I think I could count that as Asia. but there's several. She's never been to Africa, and more than likely next June we're going to Tanzania, so she'll be able to cross that one off. And so yeah, so it's been
And
amazing.
you almost got kidnapped in Africa, right?
Did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's a pretty
That's
good
crazy.
story. That's a
Yeah.
story for the ages.
Maybe you can tell us all that at the listener camp out around the
The camp
campfire.
out.
You can tell that
I can
story.
tell you that how we almost got killed in Africa, how I probably am still wanted in India, um, and how I'm just barely alive because we were on. I don't know if you've seen that, the highway that goes through the Himalayas, where they do the world's worst roads. I've been on that,
Yeah.
and that was, whew, Lord have mercy. That
Yeah.
was there was five of us in a four-person vehicle. My luggage was strapped to the top with bungee cords. It was great. Yeah, it was great.
So did you see the comment from my wife?
You
I
have been to
okay. So
Mexico, dear. So you have
I
been out of the country.
yeah. It was a long time ago, back whenever we got married on our honeymoon. We was on a cruise and we got off and went to Cozumel.
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah,
have been. Yeah,
I have
you
been.
have been.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
didn't really consider that. Like going to Mexico, like not going down to Baja or crossing
yeah,
over at Brownsville or
yeah.
someplace like that. So
Well, it's amazing to me, even with all the
too
countries
slow.
that I've been to. She says, you've also been to Playa del Carmen.
Yeah.
That's also
Well,
in
that was just like
Mexico.
was 3 blocks down the street. So
My senior trip was to Cancun. Me and my senior best friend. My parents, I don't know what they were thinking, but yeah, they let us leave the country by ourselves. It's just the two of us. And so I was out of the country before there was even passports.
yeah, we didn't have a senior trip. So
Oh my goodness! But yeah, I got some good stories. Got some good stories.
I
Even
think
on that
most of the
trip.
kids there was a bunch of kids in my class that were on a senior trip just about every day.
That's one of them that the song's about. You take a trip and never leave the farm. Yeah. Back then, that's the way they did it. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I tell you what, no matter where you are in life, no matter what you're doing, there's always something to be thankful for.
That's right.
No matter what your circumstances, you can always look up and look on the bright side of things. So I hope this year that you have an attitude of gratitude and that you can find something to be thankful for, because I know we all can. And
Yeah.
that's just something that I wanted to take this time and remind us all that we have so much to be thankful for, whether it's family or friends. I mean, if you're on here, you definitely have friends in us, and we're thankful that you're here, and
Yeah.
thankful that you listen to us every single week or when we're on.
And we hope to see every one of you the second weekend of December at the camp out.
Yeah, please mark that on your calendar. We've got a huge spot, and I think it's going to be full.
Yeah.
I really do. Benji has got with his people, and we're really pushing it on our end, and I think it's going to be a great time. Some of the best people that you'll meet anywhere will be there, and you will have the time of your life.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody can put that on their calendar, and we'll make it a good time. We'll make it a good time. Sure will. Well, it's been a good show. I feel refreshed. I feel like I have been reminded of what I need to be thankful for. Thankful for you, Tony. Thankful for this podcast. Thankful for my wife, family, friends.
Thankful
The
for all of
FJ
you.
that's sitting out there, everything. So much. Even my motorcycle. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to go on an adventure on this motorcycle. Backpacking trips. Ooh, man, the list goes on and on.
Did you see the question from Rick?
Question from
So,
Rick.
so there is a lot of discussion about some taking off and going on some wheeling on, I guess, on Saturday. It'd probably make the most sense if we come out.
Yeah.
But we can do just about whatever anybody wants.
Mhm.
I mean, some people can stay at camp and just kind of relax. Some people
Mhm.
can go out for a day ride and know that camp will be safe.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just play it by ear and see what everybody wants to do and go with the flow.
It's going to be amazing. I think this is going to be an annual event. I'm calling it.
I agree.
Calling it right now.
I think so.
Well, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. Make sure you kiss your babies, kiss your wife, kiss your husband. Tell them you love them. Tell them you're thankful for them, because one of these days we won't have that opportunity anymore, and we don't want to let that slip by. No regrets. No regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets. Have a wonderful rest of the week. This is the Professor, Bats Off Road. We will see you in a couple weeks. Remember, no show next week. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your holiday time together. Eat lots of turkey. Get lots of fat going on. And then we'll come sweat it off the next week. Hey, have a great week. Look out for number 1. Don't step in number 2.
We'll see you guys.
To be looking on the Gaia maps.
Yeah.
GAIA maps.
Yeah.
You would notice that we are a heck of a long ways from where we started and from where we're going.